Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about King David and the fact that we actually do have archaeological evidence for his existence in archaeology. I know, archaeological evidence in archaeology. But yeah, and there's a reason why I am here in Windhelm to talk about this. This is not just like a random choice, but but there's something that we have in archaeology that we found that we have here in Windhelm, and it's this house built right up onto the city wall. Or if you, or actually, if you, let me, am I stuck here? Yes, I am. Not anymore. There we go. Yeah. So I'll show you where else. So it's a house is attached to and attached built right onto the city wall, like we have here, here, and right around here at Sadri's Wares. Now,
Take a good look around. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. If not, let me know.
right up
I
here,
might have a
yeah. So that, I
story
know
for
that
you.
sounds like a random thing, but there is actually a reason to that. So around the time of David, the 10th century BCE, we notice that there are in southern Israel there are a ton of cities designed like WINDHELM, known as term as the casemate city wall. It seems to have come in from Moab, which actually part of David's line was supposed to come in from, I might add, through his great grandmother Ruth. And they all have this design. So, and they all seem to be surfing around this one city, namely Jerusalem, which seems to be the center of power, center of influence. So big deal. What's so great about it? So let me ask you like this. So if you guys are gamers, and you can identify Nord architecture, right? So like there's like this dragon on there. There's this like Viking-esque thing. You can tell the architecture is here is different from say Cyrodiil. So you like, and if you go to like Solitude, you can see the imperial influence on the architecture as opposed to Nord influence. So well, I thought that's important because it shows there's a material culture that's centered around Jerusalem at the time. There's a center of influence. So and we know based on chronology, based on the Bible, when things have taken place, that the king who had been sent around Jerusalem, and that's when these things were being built, would have been David. So, next question. How do we know that the king we are talking about is King David and not some other guy? Simple, because A, the timelines of the Bible, which have been matched up. Also, we know we have inscriptions that talk about the name of the dynasty and who the head of the dynasty would have been. And, notably, I'm talking about the Tel Dan inscription. Mentions the heads of all these dynasties that this Aramean king had defeated, and how it beat their descendants. So, for example, brags about beating the head of the house of Omri, when he mentioned defeating the head of the house, the king of Israel, because Omri was the great royal ruler, founder of that dynasty. But it mentions the house of Judah. It mentions he beat the king of the house of David. Now, some people try to argue that, oh, it's referring to the king's uncle, because the word can also mean, depending on the context, uncle of the king. That said, that's a very random possible translation, theoretically possible translation, but it's a very random translation. And based on context, considering the king is beating about the kings of other dynasties and addressing them by the name of the founder of each dynasty, it's referring to King David, the head of the house of David. So there was a Davidic dynasty centered in Jerusalem at the time of David, who founded the house. So even figures like Israel Finkelstein was quite a skeptic. His thinks that is the case. We just asked Sky a question. Anger once on it.
I was one of the best soldiers in the Stormcloak army until I took a sword to the chest. Oh, thank you. Divines bless your kind heart. Take care.
Yeah, we'll deal with them when Argentino grows up. Till then, like, no big deal. At least you're keeping the house clean. Till, since your son grows up. But yeah. Yeah, like, there is evidence of David. Now, I have a personal theory of thought that appears off of my head. Because you don't see this type of architecture, like Casemate City walls, further north, indicating there was different material culture. So, I do support that this is Casemate City walls are Davidic architecture from Moab, that have slight Moabite influence. My other theory is that the north would have been fortified by another time period and may have been fortified earlier, considering that they weren't the border was not constantly in flux with the Philistines. Is just something. Again, this is off the top of my head. If I'm wrong, hey, don't come beat me down. These are just some of my thoughts. That another material culture was dominating. There was like for example, in Solitude, you have different material culture from WINDHELM, but it's still Skyrim. As such, there is clearly a connection there. So in the the northern part of Israel, it would already been fortified under Saul. It would have had a different era, time period, different material culture, just as like material culture from the 60s, 70s, 90s are different from now. People wore different clothes than they did even in that time period. Same thing with city walls. And so when David fortified and had a civil war with the north, he would have had his own material culture to fortify things with, as short up the southern border with the Philistines. While it was in a slightly bit of a different matter in the north, where the border may not have been necessarily even as flux as not, or would have been fortified by King Saul. Keep in mind that the early Israelite monarchy was not nearly as centralized. Like, it became highly central. It was supposed to be more centralized under Solomon. But remember, like, Absalom was able to get like people in leadership positions to try to do a nearly successful coup. David's son Absalom was able to do a nearly successful coup against David. The tribes would have governed themselves to some extent. With some autonomy even before Saul, with tribal elders. I think the term Melech, the Hebrew word for king, originally means like chief elder or something like that. Yeah, he sided with the heroes of this playthrough. But yeah, we do. But that being said, the debate about David now is not so much about whether David existed. There are some who ask that question, but they're an increasingly an ever-shrinking minority.
I keep my eyes open. Damn dragons could swoop down at any time.
They're an ever-shrinking minority. The majority opinion is now in biblical archaeology, even among skeptics of the Bible, I might add, is that David existed as a historical figure. The debate is now, how big was his kingdom? How powerful was his dynasty? Is now what is being discussed. And there are people who say, further up north, we found architecture that's matching the design of stuff we see in Jerusalem built by King Solomon, David's the same time period. How come we're not seeing this as evidence of centralized authority? Other people say, no, it's later to Ahab, based on some pottery and stuff like that. So there's still an ongoing debate. But it is, like, it's not that unmainstream to think that it was united Israelite monarchy under David and Saul. Not at all. It is not. You're not out in left field and among the others, if you believe that. Anyway, God bless, guys. Have a great day. If you get a chance, check out the Domestic Space Church. God bless.